Can you say your name, please?
Yes, I'm Leonard from New York, also known as Futura. 2000?
2000? Where were you born?
I'm from New York, actually.
Or where in New York?
Manhattan.
Manhattan.
I'm Manhattan. New York. And yeah, what are we talking about? The Clash?
First?
The 80s?
Yeah. 81.
81, correct.
Why? How did they contact you? What did you know about them?
Yeah, I mean, at this time, I didn't know so much about them. I mean, you know, I'd heard more, I think, Sex Pistols than the Clash, but you know, coming from New York with a hip-hop movement beginning, and I always liked, you know, soul music, R&B. This sound from Europe was quite new. I mean, Beatles, yes, Stones, yes, Who, yes, but this new punk sound was quite new. And when I got asked to do something for a concert for the group called The Clash, the only memory I had was like, what I mentioned, I guess, when we were talking, was like the London Calling cover with the
Paul
guitarist, breaking his guitar. And so I didn't know it was Paul at the time. Just the image of this artist doing that. And so, you know, I thought, wow, this is what punk music is, you know, the wrecking of your equipment, this kind of energy, this rebellious energy, which was quite similar, you know, to what we were feeling as young people, I think, at that time, being involved with graffiti. There was also a feeling of rebellion. And so when in fact I met them and they met me and us and got introduced to the New York scene, I think they embraced it. And they saw us also, you know, as outlaws, and to some degree we were actually more illegal. You know, theirs was a point of view and a sensibility. We were actually breaking the law. So they thought we were interesting. I think we were interesting, yeah, sure. And so I met them and met Joe, and Joe Strummer, of course, rest in peace. What a great man. He was just really kind. He said, they were the ones who called me Fuge. That's my nickname for all the Clash connection, Fuge, which is a short of Futura. But I remember it was like, oi, Fuge. And that was it. I was Fuge from then on. And, you know, they had me doing stuff. Of course, you've heard in legend that I painted on stage with them in Paris and London, and actually performed a record on stage with them, which was pretty amazing. And after the initial experience, of course, on tour, my biggest achievement, I think, with the boys and the group was when Combat Rock was released some few years, 83, 84. And Joe asked me would I want to sing on a record, on the album, which is called Overpowered by Funk. And there's a moment where I have a little passage, I have a maybe 1 minute rap. And I'll be honest with you, I'm very proud of that collaboration on that level, and appreciate how Joe really cared about me and my story, like who I was as a person, as an artist. And during Combat Rock, if you see the European version of the album, not the like American version, but the European one, I've written all the text of their, all the liner notes for all the songs. Should I Stay or Should I Go? You know, Rock the Casbah, Ghetto Defendant, like all of these tracks from Combat Rock. Know Your Rights, you know, so. And I even performed with them again in the Hollywood Bowl in LA when they were touring for Combat Rock. So, you know, we had a great relationship, and to be quite honest, you know, when they took me with them, my career, you know, like major career change for me in terms of my identity and recognition, because prior to that, I had never been to Europe, and, you know, no one knew me, and suddenly here I was working with them and being on stage with them and stuff. So
tell about how you felt the paternal figure of Joe.
Absolutely. When we were, so prior to the tour, we went to, I initially went from New York to London. I was in West Point, Grove, They had a recording studio. We were staying there. I was staying actually in another area of London at a friend's house. I had access to a local apartment there. It was really cool discovering, the London metro system and taking their subway. But Joe was kind of looking after me, and we would go, not pub crawl, but we would hit pubs and go drinking, and I couldn't drink like those guys, but and just talk about life. And really, Joe was quite political, so it was always something relevant with current affairs, what's happening with this, and
See, you probably haven't heard the word Sandinista until you met him.
No, although it's funny because I did know something about what was happening in South America with the Contras and the CIA involvement. I'm always hearing, even though at this time it's more difficult to hear this kind of thing, but I was only a few years removed from the military.
Yeah.
Because I was in the military from 1974 to 78 before any of this experience, and I did know something about what we were doing in the world. Most young kids have no idea. So this is why I was open to these kind of things. And when I learned about the content of Sandinista and how they were, lyrically, they were kind of giving you news and information that you're not going to get this from regular kind of media, and certainly a controlled editorial newspapers like of that generation. So yeah, Joe was quite a mentor, not mentor, but really a great man in terms of me not having a very strong father figure or brothers. I'm an only child. I really looked at Joe as someone, a man of truth, a wise man, and someone that you listen to what he's saying and you can learn from this man, and traditionally you're only as good as the people you're surrounded by. You can only learn from those who have something to teach you. And I've been a bit of a sponge throughout my whole story, finding these people and learning something new. And now I joke and say, wow, most of my heroes, they're dead. The people who I respected, this could be Joe Strummer, this could be Basquiat, this could be Keith, artists and friends who were great people and really great friends of mine, they're dead, and it's very sad. And it's not yes, I have contemporaries now, it's true, but most are younger. And so there's not really, and my family has been gone for many years, so it's not like in my life personally I have someone to look at and aspire to. So what I do now, I look in the mirror and I just want to be the best person I can be, and in so being that person, I can be a mentor and an inspiration to other younger people. So yeah.
You're passing the baton, basically.
The baton has been passed to me, maybe now, yes. And I've accepted.
You're the father figure now for so many.
And I am. And you know what? How happy am I with my son Timmy, who's such a creative force in the world he's living in right now. He's 30. This is his demographic period. This is his time, and I'm so proud that he's done something great with his life. And we joke, when I was your age, you were born, and yes, I had already worked with the Clash by 1984 when he arrived.
Yeah, but the Clash was not the Clash at that time, right?
No, sure.
Now we can say the Clash, but at that time they were just another, they're not punk, but a punk group from London, they were some young punks from London.
Absolutely young punks from London. And
good image, actually. Well dressed.
No, great guys. Very stylized. That whole British thing was always very good.
Yeah, they're cool. They always dress well. We can't complain.
The fashion.
They know what they're doing, basically.
They do. The food, not so much, but everything else, extraordinary. Amazing.
Wait, and now the Paul Simonon, we met him at Biarritz, and I actually asked him less than 4 weeks ago, what it was to have Futura painting your backdrops, you know?
Now, you
now
said
I'm
this
asking
was
you.
like 4 weeks ago or something, a month ago, which is amazing because a few months ago, when I was in Venice for the opening of the Biennale, I ran into Paul, and I hadn't seen Paul. I mean, I see Mick Jones like every 5 years. But Mick was always more also like closer to me socially. Paul was, you know, he's a bit of a, I don't want to say loner, but you know,
he's an introvert.
He was introvert, no doubt, and on his own, and you know, always seemed to be like a little more serious.
Yeah.
But seeing Paul and looking great, like he's got to be.
Oh, he's impeccable. I can't believe how good he looks.
If I'm 60, Paul's got to be 62, 64.
Even more, I would say.
There you go. So, no, I mean.
Did you recognize him when you saw him?
Initially, yeah. I mean, it was one of those things where, like, you know, facial recognition, pass. Yeah. Oh, hey, what's up, man? And then while
the teeth recognition, yeah, the separation of the teeth.
The separation. It was more the hat. He had this hat which was quite distinctive, and then it dawned on me. You know, I was like, oh my God, I was like, Paul, you're Paul, similar. You know. So, yeah, that was really great to see him. He looked great, and yeah, I know he's working. He's
painting now.
He had been painting, of course. Like, you know, I mean, I think all those guys were, you know, they say, you know, artists are, you know, critics are frustrated artists, and you know, but I mean, a lot of the music artists of the 80s, whether it's The Clash or Talking Heads, you know,
they come from the art scene too.
Yeah, like B-52s, Devo, definitely the Heads. All those guys were quite diverse in their creativity. You know, they had different kind of.
They met at the art school actually, so.
Yeah. There was a school in Georgia, I think, where they were all from Athens.
No, Rhode Island.
Rhode Island.
No, Rhode Island. They were from Rhode Island, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, Georgia, they were the guys from REM.
Oh, yeah, REM.
Yeah, I got very unuseful data always, so don't.
Yeah,
you got it out, call me.
You definitely got your shit right. Right, REM.
Yeah. But
Orange Crush, that was a good record back in the day.
Spectacular. It still is.
That was a good record.
But wait, and the end, now you're the paternal figure. Talk about your kid and Witness 13 and what he does as a photography.
And my daughter, Tabitha, who's also quite interesting.
But you feel proud of your kids, eh?
Oh my God, yeah, because it's like, you know, really, I mean, now I'm trying to build, of course, some sort of foundation and legacy that they can, you know, continue to live and, you know, whatever, like, my thing will continue. But yes, I mean, Timmy's claim to fame is that he's very good with languages. You know, his mother's French, and so, you know, growing up he was French American with 2 passports, and you know, we were very particular about traveling and wanting our kids to have all that kind of experience when they were young. He went to Japan 15 years ago, maybe 2000 something, 2001. And was temporarily going to be in Japan, wind up being 4 years there and learned Japanese. And so, you know, like, he's done some great things, and, you know, I feel he's still a young man with a lot of potential. So, yeah, it gives me, I mean, he's a good reflection of me in the sense that...
Say it, you're a proud father.
I am very proud. Because, you know, when we see young people, we always say, oh, you know, he has good education, this, you know, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I thought that was very important. And for someone like myself, you know, with my life...
You learn from your father's mistakes, you can say that?
For sure. I mean, even before I had Timothy, you know, I was already imagining the way I was going to be a father and a parent, and how I would teach and interact with my son, and hopefully my healthy son. And, you know, I was a blessing. I mean, I told you, I'm born in Manhattan. Timothy is also born in Manhattan. We're born in the same hospital in New York. It's called Bellevue Hospital. So, you know, we have this kind of thing, and, you know, our connection is quite strong. We're the best of friends. I mean, yes, he's my son now, but since he's a man, you know, it's not like I see him like, oh my, no, he's just my best friend, kind of. And same for his sister. You know, we have a great relationship. This girl was mentioned in the Hennessy project I worked on a few years ago, and because Hennessy is a French company, I incorporated my daughter who also, as I said, they're bicultural, so she spoke French, and so she was a great liaison to Hennessy and my intermediate, whatever.
No, and understands you better than anybody, probably.
Exactly. So even having someone like as your, middle person, it was perfect for her. And so, I've been cultivating my relationship with these guys now in their young adulthood further than just, oh, you need money or, whatever. Like, I just want to be with them and do stuff. And if we ever will visit you, would love to bring one of them.
Yeah, come to Argentina.
You know what I'm saying? And
we'll make it happen. I don't know, through Brazil, through Inés, through Converse, Nike, I don't know. We'll make it happen.
Like I said, I know my thing is coming next year, February-ish. So,
perfect.
And that's
we got sun, it's summer.
Like your summer.
Yeah, not the best time to come again.
Okay, so, we don't have to say anything. We can just imagine that organically.
Nah, let's make it happen.
Something can happen, but, me, for destinations and going places,
You're up for it.
I'm always up for it. Like, normally, I even usually travel with my passport because, there have been times when I've just, like, on a whim, been somewhere, met some people, and like, you know what? Let's
go. Let's make it happen
with you. Yeah.
Yeah. So where the winds, where we say in Spanish, when the wind takes you.
When the wind blows. Yeah. I'm like that.
Okay, back to the class obsession I had. Have you ever seen the pieces you painted? Have you seen that anybody kept it by chance? Any glimpse of what you did in '81 back here?
I had seen, not recently, but I think, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, 2005, maybe around this time, I was seeing some things online that were, saying they were sections of the backdrop painted on the stage, but I don't know.
You don't think they were?
I don't know.
Were you conscious of what you're doing? Like how groundbreaking and?
No, because I just saw it as like a unique opportunity. Even what was groundbreaking was having an artist on stage
painting. Yeah.
I think this had never been done in that sense.
No.
And they were performing over a period of days, so they would tell me, okay, you're probably working like an hour per night. So, pace yourself and look at it as a work in progress over those days. So, yeah, I don't know what happened to them. There were two. There was a performance in Paris at the Mogador, and there was a performance in London at the Lyceum. I don't know what they did. Because even at that time, I saw what we were doing as so temporary, and in the sense that, hey, it can be there for a day. Someone can come and go over it. Someone, there's sort of no life expectancy, and I didn't. I was.
How old were you there?
25.
You don't even care what you were painting, actually.
No, and
it was spur of the moment. Nothing was planned.
Nothing was planned. There was no sketch of like, okay, over the 4 days, this is what it will be. It was just me being there, kind of adding.
It was paint or graffiti?
It was.
Or mixture of both.
Well, you know what it was? Because they were performing Sandinista.
Yeah.
And even their stage set had like this Checkpoint Charlie.
Yeah.
Kind of. It was with military netting and very like kind of military stuff. So I was doing this kind of hard edge stuff, and man, if I could see an image of what I did, actually, I would probably
recognize it.
Well, I would recognize it, but I wouldn't recognize it also. Like I wouldn't remember having
exactly.
Yeah.
But was it graffiti or paint? Do you remember that? Paint, literally paint, old school.
Yeah, paint. At the very end, there was some spray paint outline, but it was all just up there painting. It was very hard also.
Okay, thank you.
We did it.
We made it happen.